Welcome to Hacking Founders.
where we are unlocking the secrets of leadership and innovation so you can learn from others' experiences.
I'm Brother Elana, Head of Design and Innovation at Rocketband.
I'm Tamara Medina, leadership and business expert from Shapowaloa Solutions.
Stay with us. At the end of the podcast, we have our special collaborator, the AI Roulette, who will hack our guests with some challenging questions.
Today's guest has a remarkable career that has spanned diverse sectors, from co-founding a bank and establishing the Tallinn Stock Exchange in Estonia to transforming an underperforming container company into a thriving mobile cam producer of NATO forces. His leadership experience deepened further as a managing director on a multinational telecom company, Tele2, and most recently he founded Casehub, a pioneer leadership development ecosystem dedicated to transforming how professionals enhance their people leading. It's great to have you here, Ivar. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Estonian. I have spent most of my time setting up companies, leading companies, also being a hired leader, CEO of different ventures. So I've done quite a bit of different stuff. And jokingly, I have diagnosed with myself chronic routine intolerance. And that's why this has brought me to very different places. Sometimes not that easy situations to solve, but my life hasn't been boring at all.
And what it is that you enjoy the most, or how did you kind of develop this, passion for leadership and leadership development?
I don't think that it's possible to develop passion. Passion, either you have it or you don't have it. And most important in life is that just allow yourself to do what you really enjoy. And the rest will sort it out itself.
Today, any tech company, any company is a tech company, basically. So how is the relationship between, the companies you set it up, or you help them to grow with the technology? Is it is important? Is just an extra or must have? How is the relationship with that?
Well, I'm not a tech person myself, but I noticed that it's so good to have competent people on board and really use the opportunities technology is providing. And just going back in time when we did set up a bank, then it was in our small country, Estonia, but we were first to introduce modem banking. It was the first remote banking system ever. And it gave us a really good spin forward in a way. And from there on, I have been always keen to try to understand what's happening, what can be used. And at present times, AI development is something everybody has to keep eye on. And I try to do it as well.
Tell us a bit more about this moment, because obviously we are young enough to be familiar with the name of modem, right? And these particular noises that used to be at home. Because back then, obviously, now it looks like very archaic and, old technology. But back then, that was the internet, how it was, and the communications between data. How was the integration? Because it was quite new, so it was quite disruptive. How was the embracement from different parts on the process?
Well, as our strategy was to service specifically business clients who were quite in a distance, and they were not so willing to visit the bank offices often. We just had to find out something, and as this gave them opportunity to solve the necessary activities fast and remotely, then the take-up was very, very fast, and they were happy. Of course, the technology didn't work that well from day one, but we iterated and we got it working.
Amazing. So, was any friction with the early adopters, or obviously early adopters maybe not, but secondary integrations that maybe they weren't very trusting tech for that reason? It's like, oh, they're going to steal our data or something like that.
Well, it was interesting at these times. So it wasn't purely online interaction, but it all started from coming to the bank, getting 2 envelopes, getting explained how it works. We even had a demo room where we showed how it works and what's the security. So there was some psychological work also done to smoothen the way.
Mm.
And how much do you think, if has you seen any changes as far as the challenges in leadership from early in your career to what companies are facing now, especially as Rodo mentioned with all these new technology changes, companies' way of working is quite different now. So from your experience and perspective, do you see major changes or not?
Well, I would say that maybe there are 2 perspectives. One is human perspective, and second is technology perspective. From human part, I would say that over last 20 years, leadership has been changing, and it has become more transparent, democratic, engaging. Some people are really complaining that, well, Z generation, what do they want? There are no respect to hierarchy as such, but that's the trend, and this is actually deeper human need. And I have actually experienced that even in cultures where hierarchy has been strong for ages, people, when they get into different environment or into multinational companies where the culture is different, they take it on quite smoothly. So there isn't the human need for hierarchy and being told what to do. These are traditions, and people just have to comply until they find a way out or come to the different situation. So this is the human part. But technology part is very interesting. I would say that the big question now is that how fast will AI develop to start to understand better the context? LLM at the moment is able to construct any text and messages and stuff, but it lacks still the understanding of the context. But as soon as it becomes better, I would say that AI is going to take over the leadership role, step by step. And I jokingly ask from many leaders who I train that, well, why are you needed 5 years from now or 10 years from now? What skills do you actually need? And then we come to the conclusion that technical skills, not even that much, because technology takes over faster. But human skills, these will continuously be needed until it finally will be taken over.
You mentioned earlier on as well that different cultures, again, from your experience as far as the leadership, what can you tell us about this difference or common differences between different cultures that you have witnessed?
Well, there are many people who have actually researched it. And one thing is experience. Nobody's experience is how to say, covering all possible options. We all have some, let's say, glimpses of it or some parts of it. But I quite like Erin Meyer's book, The Culture Map, which describes different cultures and how they interact in 8 different categories, like communication, leadership, giving feedback, and things like this, and they are radically different. So in Casehub, we have even built a tool which is called cultural adaptability map, where we put just profiles of different cultures on top of each other, and we see how they interact, what are the challenges, why some multicultural teams don't work properly. So this is a really interesting topic. And just to give you one example, my wife is Russian, and actually our cultures, Estonian and Russian culture, are very different. For instance, directness of message. Estonians, they just say how things are. Russians, they just go very high context way. So you have to guess what they meant. But what comes to the giving feedback, Russians punch just to your nose, just directly. And I'm still struggling with that at home. So it's just a small example of interaction.
In that regard, the Latin, and we are more kind of indirect as when giving feedback or trying to. It's more. I think it's more one of the challenges, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think, for instance, AI will be helping to accelerate integration between teams, for instance, because it's much it can profile very quick people and adapting. That's one of the questions, for education, but today for integrating teams and understanding where they might fit best. Do you think is something that will help?
I would say that AI is getting more and more useful, really decoding people, like just registering their messages, their body language, their tone of voice, and just let's say translating it to the human understanding. What's happening? Why so? What are the possible challenges? There are several startups who are working towards this direction, and I have seen quite interesting solutions already. But the AI doesn't not yet integrate, because here is human being is needed, being credible and really being able to adjust the messages and read the feedback. But AI already is a tool to help.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Has any critical moment that you thought that tech wasn't helping at all in any of your past experiences, and you had to just scrap it and get it back to manual process or something like that?
It's an interesting question. I wouldn't say that. I can't recall a situation where we had to throw it away, but there has quite often been quite a bit of adjusting, iteration to find the best way how to use it. But I don't have any vivid example of really throwing it away. Maybe one interesting thing what comes to my mind is that years ago, when we were developing this small bank, we just were facing a challenge how to build a core system for the bank, just the IT back office core system. And then we decided that, okay, let's try to find the, let's say, most reasonable one, price-wise and also by functionality from the market, instead of trying to build something ourselves. And we've found this from the UK, we bought it. And even 20 years later, when I wasn't anymore working for the bank, when I communicated with them, I learned that they still use this core system. And at the same time, several competitors who started from scratch, they thought that they have so unique business, they had to build it themselves. And they did it and redid it and struggled a lot. But we made a decision, okay, we buy a software and we just adjust the bank to the software, not the other way around.
No,
And as we were quite new for the business anyway, this turned out to be the right approach.
interesting.
This is interesting. It reminds me of a story that I experienced once in one of the companies that I work. They invested a huge amount of money in developing an in-house software, and they spent a lot of money on it, but they never really talk about with the people that actually were going to use the software. So when the software was launched, they realized that there's so many things that they are really not working. And the most ironic thing was that the main purpose of this software was to hold all the contracts that the company had, besides other things. But that's kind of the main reason. But nobody thought about how to put the contracts that they already had in existence. No? So that was a very interesting experience. Then I have to be the one that was between the people that actually were using the software and the team that was developing the software.
Yeah, one of my colleagues has said that, well, with IT and software, it's quite interesting. Differently from people, it will always do what you want, but quite often you ask wrong things.
Yeah. And I was thinking as well, talking about leadership. A lot of people usually are able to tell a lot of bad experience that they have with leaders. A few people can think about a great person they look up to, but everybody tells you about the bad stories. From your experience and perspective, what do you think are the key skills that leaders should have, especially in companies expanding at a rapid pace? But in general, if you can, if there's any difference between the two, what would be your perspective on those?
Also, this question can be approached differently. Well, in Casehub, we have identified 17 leadership skills, mostly human skills, and leaders can assess themselves against these skills, get feedback, and train these. On the other hand, it's quite interesting. I recently read a book by Marcus Buckingham, 9 Lies About Work. And one of the lies is that leaders have to be good in everything. Leaders should be like a wheel who is strong in every skill. And in this book, there are several very, very impressive examples that actually great leaders are good in something. They have spikes, not roundness, which makes the difference. And if you are wise enough, then you can just compensate your weaknesses by your team members. Select people who can do this part well, not try to really grind yourself to become round. So there are two perspectives. One is that, there is a set of skills, but the other thing that you really have to see what you are really good at, what's your unique. And on the background, it's really understanding people is the most important thing.
And now I would like us to, if you could share a little bit about your experience with kind of founding Casehub, like why did you do it? And one of the reasons that we met in the past was precisely the Casehub, which I think it's a fantastic initiative. So if you could tell us a little bit about the backstory and your experience so far.
I have been coaching people now already for 13 years and also given different leadership trainings. And then I discovered that it's really interesting things will happen when you bring people together. You really guide them to deal with real life challenges and see what happens, how the group mind will work, and how people even try different situations out by role playing and just having fun with this. So this sort of combination, people together, realize stuff, having fun, finding solutions, sharing experiences, it was enjoyable. And it also seemed to great value. And then I thought that, well, what if I try to create something around it and to build a web-based ecosystem which is accessible for leaders from everywhere, from different places. And then the idea came to me that actually every human deserves a great leader, isn't it so? We are all worth of it, but not all have it. And then maybe we can do something really to up-level leadership capabilities and skill and make it more universally accessible worldwide. So this is the background. And the rest is already step-by-step iterations, finding what works, bringing people together, learning from them. So it's a journey.
I mean, having been in quite a few of the sessions, I think it's a fantastic opportunity where people can actually, in a safe space with other leaders, open up about their challenges. And not only that, but within kind of an hour and a half, the sessions that take place, you actually get answers to your challenges. So I really like that those sessions.
Yeah, thank you. And we have more than 60 different tools which come very handy. I do quite a bit of coaching. Even today, I had a coaching session and my client had a challenge. And then it was so easy for me to go to Casehub, download the tool and share it. It was actually fact-based feedback, what we used in this coaching session. I gave overview, we tried it out, and she walked away really enthusiastic to put it in practice. So also this is part what we try to do.
And what are more kind of your challenges as a founder so far? What are things that you kind of anticipated or not in this journey as an entrepreneur?
Well, my favorite definition of entrepreneur is that a true entrepreneur is someone who moves from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm.
That's a good one.
This is so. You just have to try. Things don't work. People actually have much more inertia than they think. Well, there is a saying that if you really want to be successful with your new business, then it has to be 10 times better than other ones. 10 times. And why 10 times? Because you tend to think that it's 3 times better than it actually is. And clients tend to think that their current service is 3 times better than it is. So 3 times 3 is 9. And to overcome this barrier, you need to have it 10 times better. And it's not.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
And how, I come into my field, obviously, how tech is playing in Casehub. What is the importance of how you're relying on tech today?
Well, I would say that we are still in a quite early stage. So technology is at the moment on a level of necessary functionality to bring people together, to arrange the sessions, to have all the tools, to commence. It's quite straightforward, I would say. And our plans are related to integration of AI. And at the moment, we are also going for fundraising to speed up the process. So our bets will be there. But at the moment, I can't really pride ourselves of something very great discovery. We are still
No, but every business now, you have a must-have at the moment, but obviously you need to project yourself. So, how do you see it in 5 years? Even if it's very tricky to project yourselves, about the platform. You mentioned about AI. So, what is your take in terms of how can help AI on Casehub for the future?
now. A very important part is credibility. I have tested a few AI-based coaching services, and at the moment they are not very compelling because AI still doesn't understand the context. So we move slowly. First, we start from Navigator. We also are planning to build AI-based first level co-pilot for leaders to get 24H recommendations, and then take it from there. Involve people when AI isn't capable yet. But one experiment in my head is that I also would like to introduce AI avatar into Casehub live sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And then that they can also join the process and in group work and give their opinion. And if then they say something silly or their proposal isn't compelling enough, then we can just smile and say that, okay, you have to grow a little bit more. So I wouldn't take risk saying that, well, this AI engine is something which solves it for you. But as additional element, I think it would be good. And even now, I use AI quite a bit when I just plan some activities, analyze some situations, just as a devil's advocate or as a third party who can have their view, and they're very, very fast. And quite often think in more options and details than I can.
That's very good. I think it's
No, go ahead, Ron.
yeah. Talking about AI, I think it's time to let our collaborator to go in and just fire one of the questions. So here we are. Whenever you are ready, Ivar, we can just. We need to tell you. There's a big disclaimer here that we just click this and things are happening on the background and it's, creating a question for you. So we deliberately created, this tool to be able to be a bit tricky. So questions are no standard. Okay. So just let me know when you're ready and we just waiting for that is happening.
Go ahead.
Let's go and see. So, if you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, but it had to be brutally honest, what would it be?
One piece of advice.
You need to be very, very honest.
You mean I would give advice from today to my youth? Okay. Listen to older people and really respect them, respect their experience. In my youth, I have actually undervalued this part, and it would be good to know.
That's a very good one. Do you think we can try another one?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Good.
Nice. So let's see what's going on. Takes a bit. How do you handle the jealousy or resentment that can arise from your success, especially from peers? Yeesh. You have any advice or any way you're coping with it?
Frankly speaking, I don't see here a problem for me. I think it's rather a problem for them because what might create emotional reaction is that if people are jealous and they say something or do something, and then I'm affected and I dislike it and I react back. But if I feel confident, if I'm happy with my success, then I just look at them and I try to understand them. They are not in that good place, or there is always a reason for people's reactions. Nobody is bad from inside. They have their reasons or their ambitions or their problems, their traumas maybe. So I don't see it as a problem for me.
So do you think empathy is very important ingredient for?
Absolutely. In this situation and in any situation when you want to lead people, empathy is a key. But empathy doesn't mean that I feel the same. If somebody is weeping, I shouldn't weep myself. I just understand what's happening with them and maybe what they need.
And now thinking about kind of the deeper things, especially in leadership, I'm sure you have come across what many people are experiencing, the imposter syndrome. Do you have any advice to people that have suffered, and have you suffered at some point in your career as well?
There is statistics that something like 70 to 75% of people suffer from at least one symptom of imposter syndrome. Very wide spread is perfectionism, for instance, and well, I think what's the advice? First, just figure out what it is in you and how it impacts your thinking, your behavior, and then just try to, try to acknowledge it. It's like in therapy that if you have problems, recovery starts from acknowledging your problems and then just letting them go step by step.
Like they say, you can't change what you don't know. But once you know, you know.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much, Ivar. Is there anything that you would like to say, kind of final thoughts?
Well, I would say that as I read that this is hacking founders and this is all about founders, then it's not an easy journey. And it really makes sense if you do something what you are really passionate about, because there will be drawbacks and issues and problems. You need this energy to carry you forward. So nobody who starts business just with the aim of making a lot of money can be very successful. They can be mildly successful, but real success needs the passion and needs really to do what you enjoy.
And talking about passion, I think that's one of the things I completely agree with you. And I think some people have very clear from very early stage what is driving them, what is their passion. But some other people, they are a bit lost in that sense. So for somebody that perhaps doesn't have clarity on what it is that they're passionate about, do you have any thoughts? Well, what could help them?
Usually it's so that people can clarify their thinking and gain really good perspectives when they explain things to other people. This is what the coaching is actually based on. So get yourself a coach or talk to your friend or talk to somebody who is really willing to listen, not just jump in with their advice. And by explaining, then you get more clarity in your head. This would be my advice. Talk to people.
Thank you, Ivar.
Thank you for listening. Join the conversation, follow, like, and subscribe on our different platforms.
This podcast was brought to you by Rocket Van, Shapovalova Solutions, and Harrington Blue and Partners.